Guys, it is Kevin here in Japan, and I want to talk to you about something I've just started, something new. I've started a new Patreon campaign for specifically the Just Japan podcast. I've been actually kind of examining the way that different podcasters do things, and the more successful podcasters out there, how they do these kind of things and how they get noticed for their different projects and gain financing and whatnot, what it may be to make their project successful. And a lot of them seem to be very project oriented. So I decided that I wanted to set up a Patreon campaign specifically for the Just Japan podcast, because obviously I think a lot of you out there know who listen to the podcast. That is the direction I'm going in these days. Now I'm making YouTube content. That's not stopping, but I've been very as of recently laser sharp focused on the podcast, and it's been growing. My hard work is paying off. But I want to make the show better, and I want to make it better and bigger, and so that's why I've started up this Patreon campaign. If you don't know what Patreon is, a lot of other content creators out there you might know of are doing it, using it. It's essentially kind of like this virtual tip jar. If you like a project that someone's doing, if you like the content they're creating, you can help them out by basically funding them as little as $1 a month or more. And there's different things that you can get. I mentioned that if you fund $1 a month, you'll get a virtual high five and a thank you from me. $5 a month or more, you can get a virtual high five and a hug. You'll be mentioned in the podcast, which there's already my first $5 patron was mentioned in this week's Just Japan podcast. Plus, I've just decided at $5, if you donate $5 a month or fund $5 a month, you will get each month sent to you the Just Japan podcast Patreon pod, which is a bonus podcast. And I just finished recording, producing, and editing the first one. It sounds great. As much effort as I put into a regular podcast, it's a bit shorter, of course, because I want the file to be small enough to be able to email to you. But I just finished recording the March 2015 Patreon pod. Now, if you join up, say next month, donating $5 a month, $10 a month or more, I'll send you the back episodes. Don't worry. And to all of the folks out there who may have supported my other Patreon campaign, the YouTube one, I'm going to be sending you these Patreon bonus Just Japan podcast pods as well. So I'll be asking you folks for your email addresses. So there you go, guys. The link's below, patreon.com/justjapanpodcast. Let's make the podcast bigger and better. Maybe it's I want to be able to focus more on it. I want to be able to spend more time doing it. I work a lot to support my family. With a lot of support to the show, maybe I can spend more of that time, instead of being outside of the home working, inside the home working on the podcast and making it better for you and making more shows. The Tech Japan podcast might be a regular weekly thing. Maybe I have aspirations someday, guys, of maybe even having like a podcast network, of having a whole bunch of different types of shows on different topics, maybe not Japan related, different things. Who knows? But of course, they need support for that, right? So links below, Just Japan podcast, or patreon.com/Just Japan podcast. For those of you out there who are going to donate or fund more than $5 a month, the first Just Japan podcast Patreon pod is already in the can. It's ready to go. It's really awesome. It's a really good one. You can even hear my wife. I interview my wife in this one. And each month you're going to get that. I've been pricing, getting some stickers made up and some different kind of merch things. And so check out the page for all the details. And I'm looking forward to your support, guys. Take care. Kevin here in Japan, and thank you so much for enjoying the podcast. I really appreciate it.